Looking to become a better speaker, a speaker that when you speak, people listen, and you also get respect because of what you say and what you share with people. Well, I've got some tips that I'm going to share with you today, and I'm sharing those tips with you from my heart, and I hope that they help you to become a better speaker, whether you're just starting right now or you've been speaking but you want to get better at what you do. I'm going to share some strategies. These strategies or these tips are already proven tips that anybody can use. But before we get to all of that, I need you to understand that several authorities have said that the fear of public speaking is the number one fear in the world. Second is the fear of death. That's why some people would rather die than speak. They'd rather be the ones in the coffin and someone else does the speaking than for someone else to be in the coffin and they do the speaking. But it's not supposed to be so. And that's why I want to share with you some proven tips today that would help you. You can take them and immediately try them and start using them immediately. Okay? Now the first tip is know your material. Know your material. It's been suggested that if you know your material 10 times better than the people, that your audience, then there's a confidence with which you present that material. There's a confidence with which you present the talk, the speech. I'm not saying a case where you have to know everything about a particular speech or a particular subject, but the emphasis here is have mastery over that thing that you're talking about. Have a level of knowledge that gives you confidence. So when you stand on stage, you are able to deliver the speech, you're able to deliver the message. Remember, you're a messenger, so that the people that are listening to you will benefit. Now, the second thing that you need to understand why it's important for you to master this is that you are able to then take stories or illustrations of other people or maybe yours, depending on what you're talking about, and fit them into the subject. So that makes the subject, that gives flesh to the subject. It adds meat to the subject. It makes it more enjoyable and even entertaining for your audience. So tip number one, know the subject. Now, tip number two, practice, practice, and practice. Why is it important to practice when you're delivering speeches or when you have speeches to deliver? It's because when you rehearse aloud using all the materials or equipment that you might use, it could be your projector, it could be your TV screen, it could be your pointers, it could be your PowerPoint screen, it could be anything, it could be your outline, it could be your manuscript. Rehearse with those things. When you rehearse again and again, you would see where you're making mistakes. You would see where you want to act differently. You will see it's a lot better. I tell my students what I tell them is rehearse in front of a mirror. When you rehearse in front of a mirror, it saves you a lot because you will see yourself. Sometimes video yourself. Take your phone and do a video of yourself. Take a video, record the speech. What that does to you is that you watch the speech again, and I tell you many times, you feel embarrassed the first or maybe second time. What am I talking about? Why am I behaving like? Why am I acting like this? Why am I moving like this? But that's you now getting feedback, and it helps you to correct your steps. Tip number three is know the audience. Know the audience. Go straight to the place. If you have to speak in a particular place, go to the hall, go to the venue early enough and connect with people. I remember there's an experience I had. There was an experience I had in the UK where we went for a conference, and one of the speakers came around the table and gave us a handshake, and spoke to us, and then he said that he was going to be one of the speakers. And his delivery was beautiful. I learned a lot. Other speakers also did well, brilliantly. But I remembered him. I still remember him today because he came to the table. We had a handshake. We had some small talk. And then he told us, hey, you know what? I hope I'm able to serve you guys. I'm suggesting that you could also try sim. I try that and it works. Why is that? Because it's a lot easier to speak with friends than to speak with strangers. So when you go around the table and then you talk to people, you've broken down, you kind of break down the ice and you break down the wall, they look forward, they become a helpful audience to you. Now, for many people, the things that I have shared with you so far, I've shared 3 tips. For many people, it might be just easy. They could just plug and play. Of course, you can use these tips. First tip I have said is know your material. They know how to craft materials. They know how to put things together. And then they can practice. They have the discipline to practice. For some people, they need help. So if you fall into the second category where you need help with crafting your material with which you want to deliver your speech, or you need an accountability partner to help you to see what you're doing, to imbibe the discipline that help you to practice again and again until you become firm, you become better at what you do, you become more confident to deliver that next speech. If that's the case, there's a button. There should be a button somewhere beneath this video, on the left, on the right, somewhere around. Click on that button and it will take you to a page where you would just book a 15-minute call with one of our program advisors. I would talk with you and find out what exactly do you want to do, what kind of speech do you want to deliver, what's the situation, and where are you, and what help do you need. And we'll be able to find a way to help you. We really, really want to help. I promised I was going to give 10 tips. I've given you 3. Now I want to give you the 4th one. The 4th tip is know the room. So what I do when I have speeches and I have to deliver speeches, what I do is that I go early. I take a look at the platform. Some platforms are bigger than others. Some stages are designed in a way that's different from other stages. So I go there early. I work on the platform. I get used to the platform because in my mind, when I get on the platform, I have to become one with the platform. I have to gain mastery over my space. And so I go there. Some platforms are really big. And then if you're going to speak to a large number of people, you have an idea of what it's going to be like. It's never exactly the same, I'm sincerely speaking, but it gives you an edge. You get to understand. I remember a case where I was to deliver a speech and I went there early. I took a look at the place and I knew I was going to face a challenge. What was the challenge? The room had pillars. It wasn't designed in a way that's easy for you to stand and see everybody at the same time. It had pillars. So I immediately started trying to figure out how can I move around the pillars, because I know that not everybody it was impossible for everybody to see me at the same time. But I have to make good use of the pillars. That's what I have. It was too late for us to begin to look at changing and all of course, it wasn't even within my control. But being there early helped me to prepare mentally to serve my audience. So my suggestion to you is get to the room early, get to the place early, maybe 30 minutes before time or an hour before time if you can, and know the room. See the visual aids that will be used and how you can use the visual aids to benefit the audience given the structure of the room. I hope that makes sense to you. Now, number 5 is to relax. The relaxation is on two ends. First, you need to be relaxed. The audience need to be relaxed. So you have to find something that helps you to relax. One of the things that I do to help me to relax is I speak to myself. Self-talk. I talk to myself. If I get in and I feel I'm jittering, I'm shaking, I talk to myself, be still. I try to separate myself from my mind. My mind is telling me run, flight. But I know that I've got a job to do, so I talk to my mind, but still we've got this together. And this does not just happen at the beginning of the speech. Sometimes it happens in the middle of the speech. You tell a story, you give an illustration, it doesn't click. You fidget, you begin to, am I losing my audience? It happens. But you need to learn ways to reduce attention. You also need to get your audience to relax. I remember one of the exercises that I usually would use when I talk to people. I remember one very vividly where I use a song, My Bunny. So I divide the audience into 2 and I say, okay, you guys here, could you please stand after talking to them? It's just an exercise. and then this guy's going to sit, and I'll sing the song, "My bunny lies over the ocean. My bunny lies over the sea," and I'll tell them that anytime they hear a word that begins with the letter B, these people should sit and these people should stand. And sometimes I say you have a £50 or a $50 or $100 prize. The last person who sits and stands up according to the B rhythm to the end. And everybody is excited. And so I go, my bunny lies over the ocean. My bunny lies over the sea. My bunny, my bunny, my bunny. You can sort of picture how people sit, stand, sit, stand, sit, stand. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to break the ice in the room. I'm trying to get everyone to relax. I'm trying to get everyone to say, hey, you know what? We're friends. Let's have fun. Okay? And I'm also trying to get myself to relax. I remember also John Maxwell would say that when he gets to speak to people, one experience basically was when he said, I think it was in Ukraine, when he said he got in there and he told them, "Hi, everyone, I'm John, and I'm your friend." When you tell people that you are their friend, depending on wherever they come from actually, sometimes people feel like we've never met before, how come we're friends? But somehow it sticks. When you tell someone, look, I'm your friend, we're in this together, I just want a solution. Okay, so people tend to go down. Well, that's his strategy. You need to find your strategy, what works for you. Because that's part of what we discuss with people when we have our discovery course. And they have, depending on where they want to speak, even in terms of leadership. When we talk about public speaking, many times people think about standing on the stage and talking. But if you have a team of 5 and you're talking to them, you're speaking in public. How do you talk to them to influence them to work with you on a project to get things done? If you're a salesperson and you're telling somebody about something, about the service or a product, you're speaking in public. It might be to a person, to 2 persons, to 2 decision makers, but you are speaking in public. And so the rules or the strategies of public speaking, for instance, of pausing, of modulation, the use of your tone, of eye contact, which shows genuineness. People speak to you, want to see your eyes and you're speaking genuinely. All of those, many of those things play at one point or the other when you speak to people, no matter where you are, no matter where you sit. So this is not about just speaking on stage. These strategies, they work depending on who you're talking to. So when you relax, you help everybody to flow with you. The number 6 tip I want to share with you right now is visualize yourself giving the speech. Visualize yourself talking. Try to hear your voice deliver the speech. Try to see you gesticulating, creating scenes, right? And then telling stories, moving from one character to another. Try to see yourself in that space. Try to see yourself purposefully moving from one point of the stage to another, trying to drive your story, trying to get people to see, because people do not see words, they see pictures. So what you do is to use your word to create pictures for people to see and link those pictures together. So it's like a whole movie or story, and that is powerful. And know where to bring out the points, how to put your punchlines, what stories to tell, what illustrations to give, what lessons to draw. See yourself delivering all of that. Then see yourself being applauded, people giving you a standing ovation, of people saying, hey, that was great. Picture yourself talking and people are nodding and saying, oh, that's great. That's beautiful. That's a point. Is it easy to picture yourself in the light that I have so beautifully described? No, it's not. Many times it comes with experience. But it's worth the effort. And that takes us to the second point that I raised earlier, which is to prepare. When you prepare again and again and you see yourself in front of the mirror and you take videos of yourself and you watch yourself, you are instructing yourself, you are creating a mental picture in your mind. And that's it. That is powerful because it helps you the moment you get on the stage. You want that to happen. And everything that we see physically is just a figment of what's been created mentally. So what I'm telling you is create the speech, create the experience. That's it. Create your experience mentally first before you get on stage. Okay, that helps you. That will help you to relax, and that's also going to help to boost your confidence.